want to share with you yet another one of my favorite stories. And the title of this story is called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. And it's by a woman named Judith. She's the author. She wrote the words. And it's illustrated by a man named Ray. He drew the pictures. And as we're reading, I want you to think about who are the people or things in this story, where does the story take place, and what's happening in the story. Here we go. This is Alexander, and he is going to have a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Sometimes they happen. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. Australia's really far away from here. So his brothers found some toys in the cereal box. But poor Alexander, he didn't find anything. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I didn't get a seat by the window, I am going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. Does this look like Mrs. Ruiz? At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said out I left 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. He's having a rough day at school, isn't he? I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone and lands in Australia. He's pretty upset with his friends, isn't he? Still not having a good day. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of Jelly Roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. His mom didn't put any treats in his lunch. That's a bummer for sure, huh? That's what it was, because after school my mom took us all to the dentist and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. Remember, Australia is a place that's far, far away. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, And while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And, oh my goodness, brothers are really not being very nice. He's really having a bad day. While I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I told everybody. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose the blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, "We're all sold out." They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. He's kind of sad they didn't have the shoes he wanted. Have you ever felt that way when you've gone shopping and they don't have the shoes you want? It definitely makes for a bad day. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Ooh, he kind of made a mess in his dad's office. I think his dad is kind of mad and sad. It's definitely a bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. There was kissing on TV. Ugh, I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain. I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse light burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that. Some days are definitely like that. Even in Australia. The end. I hope Alexander has a better day tomorrow. Have you ever had a bad day like Alexander? Draw me a picture of it and tell me what happened. Also, think about who was in this story, where did the story take place, and what happened? What are some of the bad things that happened to Alexander? Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you liked the story. See you next time.